when you can't see the way. Life is full of uncertainties. We often want to see the full picture before making a move, but God calls us to walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7 says, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." This means faith is trusting God even when you don't understand. Faith moves forward even when things don't make sense. Faith believes in God's promises before they come to pass. Today, let's explore what it means to walk by faith and not be controlled by what we see. A true story. The man who stepped out in faith. A man named David felt led by God to start a business. The problem? He had no money and no experience. Everyone told him, "Wait until you have enough money." But instead, he prayed, took a step of faith, and started with what he had. At first, it was difficult, but he kept trusting God. Years later, his business became successful. Looking back, he realized, if I had waited to see the full picture, I would have never started. Biblical examples of walking by faith. Abraham, leaving without knowing the destination. God told Abraham to leave his home and go to a land he had never seen. Hebrews 11 verse 8 says, "By faith, Abraham obeyed and went, even though he did not know where he was going." Peter. Walking on water. When Peter saw Jesus walking on water, he asked, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come." Matthew 14 verse 29 says, "Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus." The Israelites crossing the Red Sea. When the Israelites faced the Red Sea, they had no way forward. But God told Moses to stretch out his staff. Exodus 14 verse 21 says, "Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and all that night the Lord drove the sea back." Why walking by faith is important. Faith pleases God. Hebrews 11 verse 6 says, "Without faith, it is impossible to please God." You don't need all the answers, you just need faith. Faith unlocks miracles. Jesus told many people, "Your faith has made you well." Mark 10 verse 52 says, "Go, your faith has healed you." Miracles happen when faith is activated. Lastly, faith overcomes fear. Fear says, "What if it doesn't work?" Faith says, "Even if I don't see it now, I trust God." Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you." How to walk by faith. Daily. First, trust God's word, not your feelings. Your feelings may say, "It's impossible." God's word says, "With God, all things are possible." Matthew 19 verse 26. Lesson: stand on God's word, not emotions. Second, take small steps of obedience. Faith is not about knowing every step. It's about taking the next step. Psalm 37 verse 23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord." Lastly, declare God's promises over your life. Speak words of faith, not doubt. Mark 11 verse 23 says, "If anyone says to this mountain, 'Be lifted up and thrown into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart but believes, it will be done." Lesson: what you declare in faith, God will establish. Powerful prayer. Points for walking by faith. Lord, help me to trust you even when I don't understand. Give me boldness to step out in faith. Help me overcome fear and doubt. Strengthen my faith through every trial. Open doors as I walk in obedience to you. Walking by faith is not about seeing the whole path. It's about trusting the one who leads the way. Take the first step today, and God will guide you the rest of the way. Final affirmation: I walk by faith, not by sight. I trust God's plan, and I step into my destiny with boldness.